James, a migrant has raped a pensioner. It's disturbing, it's brutal, it's horrendous.
No one really seems that safe. We've worried for a long time about what some of these people are doing to women and girls, especially underage girls. Now we have another group of people to worry about, pensioners, vulnerable older people.
We've got wrong-uns here, but these wrong-uns we've got here, there's unfortunately nothing we can do about them apart from throw them in jail. If you come into this country and you are committing heinous crimes, you gotta go. James, a migrant has raped a pensioner. It's disturbing, it's brutal, it's horrendous. A man from Eritrea raped a pensioner on the grounds of a church, and thankfully the assault was caught on CCTV and passers-by saw what was going on. But what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's horrible, dude. When you read the details, like, apparently this migrant, Bruke Desalagne, 33 years old.
Before you say any more details, let me just give you guys a trigger warning. This is going to be pretty hard to listen to. James, carry on.
So this migrant, Bruke Desalagne, dragged this pensioner onto a verge in Harrow, raped him for 20 minutes, JJ. The whole thing was caught on CCTV, like you say. Really, this has happened all by a main road, and the guy was basically stopping every time a bus passed or like a passerby went past. And this old pensioner is just helpless, lying on the ground the whole time.
Apparently the pensioner was inebriated or intoxicated.
Oh, that's what he claimed anyway. Yeah. So this monster did this to this guy, and then when police showed up to arrest him, he lied to them. He said that he's just helping an inebriated man. That's what he claimed. And then when the CCTV was shown to him, he just remained completely quiet. And in court, he just remained totally emotionless.
This guy doesn't speak any English.
Doesn't speak any English, great.
Which means we, the taxpayer, have had to pay for an interpreter for him at the police station when he's first questioned. And then every time he's had to speak to a lawyer, we've had to pay for an interpreter. And when he's in court, we have to pay for an interpreter. And going forward, he's going to be sentenced, I think, in autumn of this year. So pretty soon, guess what? We're going to have to pay for an interpreter again. And then he goes to prison, and the British public are going to be paying
3 meals a day, probably his Xbox in his room, books, leisure time.
They cost us about between 50 and 60 grand a year, prisoners. That's what it starts off in the first year. So we're paying 60 grand for this monster.
A solid middle class wage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Forget about it.
For this monster to live a life of probably comparative luxury in prison versus where he's from.
We hear of women and girls being attacked by migrant men often in the news. Like, this isn't that is not an uncommon thing. But we don't hear so much about it happening to men, and we certainly don't hear it so much happening to pensioners. No.
I mean, it's shocking, isn't it? I mean, because we've worried for a long time about what some of these people are doing to women and girls, especially underage girls. Now we have another group of people to worry about, pensioners, vulnerable older people. No one really seems that safe from some of the people, not all, a small minority of the people who are coming into this country who are coming here to do horrendous things. Like you say, there's been other reports this year. So there was a case in Brighton where 3 men were convicted of raping a woman on the beach.
Raping a woman on the beach.
Yeah, and in Nuneaton, I believe there was a 12-year-old girl who was sexually assaulted by a migrant as well. And that's just 2 cases from this year.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't even go further back than that. It's horrendous, JJ, isn't it? I mean, what are your thoughts on this? Like, what are we supposed to do now? What's Andy Burnham got to do about this sort of stuff?
Well, the guy doesn't speak any English, which tells me that he wasn't born in this country. So he should be deported. I don't think he's going to get deported, James, because we had the example before of a rapist, I believe from Pakistan, and the court said, the rapist said, if he gets deported back to Pakistan, he'll be stoned to death. So our court system said, oh, that's a legitimate reason. We're going to have to keep him here for his own safety. And there was another case of another foreign national from, I can't remember where he was from, but he was convicted of paedophilia. He has a child and a wife.
Oh, something about the chicken nuggets, right?
Yeah, that's right. His excuse was his kid can't eat the chicken nuggets over there. The kid likes the chicken nuggets here. The kid has some kind of autism, so there's only certain foods he will eat. And the judge said, yeah, okay, you're going to stay in this country as well then. So I don't think when this guy gets out of jail for however long he gets, I don't think he'll get deported. But, everyone watching the show, everyone listening, you all know what I say about sex offenders, rapists, paedophiles. Have them chemically castrated. And if you're a foreigner, have you chemically castrated. You can go to one of the roughest prisons in this country, be put in isolation. Let's see how your mental health deals with that. And then we deport you.
But what will actually happen is he'll get cushy time in jail for about a third of his sentence. Then they'll have the jails full again, and Labour or the Tories or whoever's in power will go, right, we're going to do early prisoner release scheme again, and he'll be back out on the streets probably in no time. It's disgusting, isn't it?
It is. And I've got to say, as rare as this is happening, that our pensions are being attacked, we have wrong uns here too. There's 2 English guys who've done similar things. Anthony Roberts raped an 81-year-old woman after following her off a bus one evening. Jason Batchelor raped a pensioner in her house.
Yeah.
We've got wrong uns here. But these wrong uns we've got here, there's unfortunately nothing we can do about them apart from throw them in jail. If you come into this country and you are committing heinous crimes, you gotta go. You've got to go.
But no, Andy Burnham's new idea, JJ, which he's come under fire for a lot more recently, is just to spread them around the country, right? His genius idea is to go, okay, the problem is not that we have too many of these people in the country, it's just that they're slightly too concentrated in poor areas. So what we can do is we're going to stick them all in villages, and that'll make things a million times better. What do you make of that, JJ?
We have to control migration. I don't know why it's seen as such a bad thing to control your borders.
Yeah.
When I lived in the Middle East, I had all the correct documentation. The company I was working for over there had sorted out everything for me. It was perfect. And yet still, about once every 6 months maybe, the police would come, knock on the door. We'd like to see your papers, please.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. They pick random people to go and check.
Wow.
And often it's not the British people who normally get checked. It's people from other nationalities who normally go and get spot checked.
Yeah.
But if all your stuff's in order, it's like, yeah, cool. Here's my citizen card. Here's my passport. Here's the paperwork that says I'm allowed to be here. They check it through. They call it in. It's like, yeah, done. Have a good day, sir. But imagine that happening in this country. Someone knocking on the door and saying, "Oh, we know you're a foreign national. We just want to check your details and make sure that you are still. You haven't overstayed your welcome." You'd have the lefty lawyers saying, "You're breaching their human rights. This is degrading for them." I'm sorry. When I go to the US, my wife is American, so I'm in the US a lot. When I get to the passport control, I get asked 1,000 questions. Where are you staying? How long are you here for?
Where you staying, buddy? What job have you got over there? So you're working here, or
you've got a wife? I don't think so.
Are you going anywhere near the New York Post building, or? You know,
but like
quite rightly, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like obvious questions.
Yeah, and I'm completely. I've got nothing to hide. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. But illegal immigration in this country has to be stopped, because I'm not saying for 1 second that well then, because this man was Eritrean, this means all Eritreans are bad. Of course not. That's not what I'm saying. But what we do need to know is who is coming in and what their criminal history is, if they have one. And if we can't do that, if you come here without identification, then you shouldn't be allowed.
But we're told that's a breach of human rights. And I mean, I saw once actually in Dalston, which is, I believe, sort of around your neck of the woods, right? They tried to send these Home Office vans in to deport people who were here wrongly and overstayed their welcome, blah, blah, blah. And you get all these sort of like lefties who will then very quickly mobilise on their phones or whatever, and will be swarming these vans. It's basically a riot. I saw and the police just walk away and they manage to deport people in the end.
Yeah.
And you just like, we're living in a cloud cuckoo land. It used to be the case that even the left would be like, no, we don't want loads of people in the country who shouldn't be here because it depresses wages. It's unsafe for our communities who we actually care about. Now it's just like, no, let everyone in all and sundry. Don't worry about the NHS. Don't worry about where you're going to go to school, where you're going to live.
Crazy.
Don't worry about your own safety. And Burnham's genius idea now is to be like, well, actually, do you know what? It will be better if we send them to Piddington.
Yeah.
If we put them all near a primary school in a village, I think that will be better. Great idea, mate. Maybe go back to the drawing board.
For 5,000 years, empires have risen and fallen. Currencies have come and gone, some of them in our own lifetimes. But for 5,000 years, one thing has never been worth nothing. Gold. There's a reason people keep coming back to it. And the Pure Gold Company, which was voted the UK's best gold broker, makes owning it so simple. Tax-free gold coins from their partner at the Royal Mint with friendly one-to-one guidance at your pace. There's no jargon, no pressure, no hard sell. Delivered discreetly to your door or stored in a secure professional vault. It's your choice. You can download their comprehensive guide to buying gold by visiting their website. See the link in the description and tell them JJ sent you. I would, if I was Andy Burnham, the first thing I would do is I would say from now on, no more men. That is it. No more men. We'll accept women and children from countries that are war-torn, countries where you're going to be feeling you're going to be persecuted. But no more men. If another single man comes over here via a small boat or on the back of a lorry, you're going straight back. Now, the problem we have is that because of the ECHR, we're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
But as I said many times, the Tory government ignored the ECHR before when they said you've got to give prisoners the vote, and Cameron said, "No, I don't think so, lads. Adios." Yeah. We can just say, we're not removing ourselves from ECHR, but this is our island, and we're going to stop it from being overrun because of your crazy rules in Strasbourg.
You're not going to get arrested by the ECHR or SAS, are you? You're not going to come like just diving through your window like, why didn't you let that migrant stay for chicken nuggets? Just send him back, dude. Just send him back. It's a crazy system we've got, man. It's a crazy system we've got.
Terrible. But let me actually stop and say thank you to the Pure Gold Company for sponsoring today's episode. I'm not going to do an advert. I'm just saying thank you to the Pure Gold Company for sponsoring today's episode. Now, Angela Rayner, as Mark Dolan calls her, the ginger growler. Mark Dolan's on holiday, which is probably all probably need a break.
Hurting us all, really. Don't look at the viewing figures.
So Rayner has softened planning rules for traveller sites, which basically means more campsites. Now, I think we're going to disagree on this, James. I think you're going to say how absurd this is.
Right.
And I'm going to say, well, actually, we need more traveller sites.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
I'll let you go first, and
you're right.
I'll explain.
It is actually a great idea. I've actually recently been in the market for a house. And I've done this really stupid thing. I've worked for a living. I've worked my way up the pole. I've paid taxes. I've obeyed the rules. I've lived in places, flats. Don't know if you heard of them. 4 brick walls. Going like there's like a foundation. Anyway, so I've done that, and I've done things by the rules. And I went to go look at some like lovely flats, and like they're quite a lot of money in, and actually like it's really stretching me out. I got loaning that kind of amount. It's making me a bit worried for my finances. So I've decided I'm just going to buy a fucking camper van and stick it in Hyde Park. And I think, maybe that's a better idea. Do you know what? Screw this whole following the rules thing. Screw this whole paying my taxes and behaving and living where I should bloody live. I'm just going to park a camper van in Hyde Park. And
so that is it. Now, here's the problem. We are conflating two things here, right? First of all, being a traveller or having a nomadic lifestyle is not illegal. It's actually allowed. You can actually do that. You could buy a camper van and simply drive around all you want. Yeah. But where you rest your van or your caravan must be on permitted land.
Campsites.
Traveller campsites, of which there are too few. So what the rules used to be in this country was that you can go on a campsite for a certain amount of time, then you must leave and you can't return to that same camp within 12 months. So then some of the travellers were then saying, well, actually, we need to stay in this area and there's only one campsite. We can't go back to that one. So we're going to have to park our caravans in this field, which is terrible, might I add. However, only 2% of the total traveller community, are doing that. So it's a minority of a minority of people who are breaking the rules and making it awkward between their community and the rest of the country. So we do need more authorised traveller sites to try and reduce that from happening, which is why I'm saying we should have more.
But what she's done, from what I understand, reading the Telegraph story about this morning.
Don't you dare say their name in here. Don't you invoke them.
The Daily Express story. Whoops. So what I've understood from reading the Daily Express story about
written by Adam Toms, a fine journalist. Journalist.
Anyway, what I understand from that is she's now made it harder, basically, for locals and councils to oppose retrospective permission for illegal traveller camps. So what she's done is basically when travellers go up to, you've seen these stories a million times, a random field in the village, I don't know, Hyde Park, and decide they're going to set up a new traveller site. She's now making it easier for them to get permission on what was an illegal site. I don't necessarily disagree with you. If we need more campsites, if they're not enough, make it easier perhaps to build new ones. Fine. But to then make it easier for illegal, it just encourages dodgy behaviour, doesn't it? It's a minority of that community, but it just encourages them to carry on doing bad things, which is not good. That's not wise policy. You don't incentivise people to break the law. You don't say to developers, big property developers, like, oh, it's fine, build 1,000 flats wherever you like, and it will make it easier for you to do that retrospectively, get permission retrospectively. No, because it's crazy. That's nuts.
That is crazy. But I mean, you wouldn't say to an illegal migrant, come to the UK and we'll give you a free hotel and 3 meals a day. That'd be nuts. You'd be incentivizing them to come across.
Who would be doing that?
If you commit a crime, we're not going to deport you. We're going to put you in jail and then put you in housing. Come on. I'll tell you who I am liking at the moment.
Go on.
I always like him. Donald J. Trump.
Legend.
Absolute legend. I know some of you listening, some of you watching don't appreciate the genius behind Donald J. Trump, but he has said he had a very good conversation with Prime Minister Burnham, and he expects the Labour leader to approve new drilling in the North Sea. Drill, baby, drill.
Yeah.
That's my Trump impression, by the way.
That's really bad.
I've got to work on that.
So try it again later. He said he had a good conversation, didn't he? And then he's been talking about how the UK has this massive energy problem, and it'd be good for us to start digging up North Sea oil. I agree, but I'm also a bit trepidatious, to be honest.
Go on. Lovely word, by the way.
Trepidatious. So I've got very tabloid.
I do declare.
Well, the problem is, we 100% should be drilling North Sea oil. If we're going to start giving out licenses to a bunch of American companies to go and take the oil back over to America, to send jets up to go bomb Iran,
this is the thing,
or build data centers that will then, that will then destroy the jobs industry, I'm not sure I'm massively in favour of that. We want to drill North Sea oil. We want to be giving those licenses to British companies to employ British people, and not to power AI data centers in America, and jets to go over Iran to cause a huge oil shock to global markets.
So that's it.
It's, what are you digging up North Sea oil for? Are you digging it up for the American companies to benefit and see the S&P 500 go like that, or is it to send the FTSE 100 going like that and to generate real wealth in the UK? And I mean, I was in Norway recently, JJ. If we just dug a bit of North Sea oil, wow, we could all be 6 foot blonde, well fed, skinny, saunas everywhere, beautiful landscape, trams that run impeccably, trains that run even better. The benefits from us digging up North Sea oil will be tremendous. Miliband doesn't want it, but whatever, ignore him. But if we just give that money abroad, I don't know. So yes, okay, well, Trump's right about one thing. I'm slightly worried that he's doing this for his own ends.
I completely agree. There's a thought, the general thought of the public in this country is, if we can drill North Sea oil, then that's going to bring down our energy prices. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, North Sea oil is generally sold into international markets. So it's still going to go across to whoever, and then we're still going to have it processed over there, and then we're going to buy it back from them. It's unless we can say, we're going to drill it ourselves, we're going to process it ourselves, and we're going to sell it to the rest of the world. Unless that happens...
Or our own domestic market, right? You'd have to have essentially a British oil company, probably semi-nationalised, getting this oil out, like say, processing it, using it to power the UK economy. Our energy prices, our industrial energy prices, JJ, are some of the highest in the world. That is crippling our manufacturing sector. Andy Burnham, Labour, rightly talk all the time about how we need more of a manufacturing base. Yes, we do. Guess what you need to power it? Energy. When your energy is fucking £4 a kilowatt or whatever it is, and you're buying it off the French, I mean, you're in for a drubbing. We need to nationalise that stuff. We need to have our own energy supply. We need to control it.
Can I also say, for those of the Green Party watching, I'm also against it because of the climate impact. So I'm woke, I guess.
Tell that to the Indians. What I don't get, JJ, with all the climate argument, right, is it's like, okay, so in this theory, we're the only people doing this.
China and India are the biggest.
There's 2 wells. There's 2.
China and India, they're the bad boys of CO2.
While we're being like, should we drill this North Sea oil? The Chinese are like, how many fast fashion outlets can we squeeze into this tiny village? They don't care.
They don't care.
Quite right. They're trying to industrialise. They understand to industrialise, you need to burn a ton of fossil fuels.
Well, ironically, under the Conservatives, the plan was to reduce our CO2 emissions. So they moved a lot of the things that we used to make here. They said, we're going to buy it from China. So China started producing more CO2 as we started producing at like half a percentage less.
Yeah.
You're right, it's nuts. But speaking of China, they're good friends Russia.
What a segue.
What a segue.
We've come from China
to Russia. They're good friends Russia. Putin, he is threatening the UK, James. You know why?
Why?
Because British drones were used on Russian mainland for the first time. And Russia has said there will be consequences for London. There will be consequences, comrade. Конечно.
So I read, apparently, so we've hit these wild berries depots.
Yeah.
Do you know what wild berries is?
No.
Apparently, it's like basically Russian Amazon, right? So they've got all these goods there, all this merchandise and stuff. And apparently, this Ukrainian strike, or strikes, plural, has burnt billions of pounds worth of merchandise in these depots.
Putin not happy.
He's not happy at all. He's not happy at all. And like, oh God, I can't believe I'm going to say this.
Go on.
Have we been a bit stupid? I understand supporting Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I'm not some Kremlin stooge. I wish they were paying me. Yeah, I'm not some Kremlin stooge. I think they were completely wrong to invade Ukraine. I think there's also an argument to be made that we pushed our luck a bit. NATO pushed our luck a bit. We got right up to the Russian border. We're interfering in a territory right next door to them. So if the same thing happened to America, what would you expect the response would be? If Russia started trying to influence Mexico,
it
Cuba.
did happen. It did
Cuba.
happen in America, Cuba, exactly. What did they say? JFK, I think it was at the time, who was in charge, said, remove those missiles from Cuba or we will obliterate you.
Yeah.
So they removed the missiles from Cuba. I've been saying the same thing as you for about the last 7-8 years, and people have gone on and call me a commie stooge.
Yeah.
But it used to be the East trying to move west, but the West with NATO just been moving further and further and further, closer and closer and closer to Putin. And this is now where we're at, because for Ukraine to join NATO means we could put missiles and army bases all on the border of Russia around there.
And if that happened to the UK, say they did the same to Norway or France, how would you expect us to respond?
Precisely.
Anyway, moving away from that and onto these drone attacks, I think this is an extension of the same problem. We're just catapulting ourselves towards a more serious conflict. We are not taking a step back to think, what are we doing exactly? It's one thing to send the Ukrainians money, right, to defend their own territory, to stop Russian invasion of a sovereign territory. Completely correct, right? The thing got out of hand. It shouldn't have got out of hand in the first place, and we've talked about how that shouldn't have got out of hand and how we contributed. Putin is not blameless.
Yeah, of course not.
He is not blameless. He is a terrible man. He's done a terrible thing. But we've talked about how we could avoid that conflict in the first place. What we can do, the best thing we can do now, is fund to help Ukraine maintain as much territory as possible. But should we be doing stuff like giving them drones that are then being used in Russian territory, not to defend Ukrainian territory, but used behind enemy lines to attack essentially civilian? I mean, this is a merchandise warehouse, right? This is not a military target.
No, yeah.
This is an economic target.
Yeah.
Right? Have we crossed the line there? Have we gone a bit further than we should have? I mean, that's a genuine question to ask.
Well, look, who else do we give weapons to? Saudi Arabia. I say give, we sell Saudi Arabia, and they use them to blow up Yemen and the Houthis. We sell to the UAE, and they also use our weapons to kill Houthis in Yemeni. Ukraine, obviously, as you said, with Russia, and Israel, who have used our weapons to kill children in Gaza, Palestine. So we're doing this all over the world. This is what's happening. We are selling, we are profiting and giving money. I mean, even just go back to Saudi Arabia, who we know are, I'll say it, Saudi Arabia is pretty backwards when it comes to culture. And our cultures are not aligned, right? Women are treated as second-class citizens over there, and we still are giving them. We keep that deal with Saudi Arabia because it's so beneficial for us in terms of dollar bills. This government, whether it's the Labour government, whether it's the Tory government before that, or the Labour government before them, what they care about is cash. That is it. So they will do deals with some of the shadiest countries in the world as long as it makes a profit for the country. I don't think, personally, I don't think we should have given military weapons to Ukraine. I think we should have focused more from the very beginning on getting a negotiation between Putin and Ukraine. Perhaps that meant Crimea. Crimea has to go to Russia. Perhaps that's what it means.
Well, I did see an interesting poll recently. I believe it was in the Kyiv Independent, which was basically saying that the Ukrainian civilians have moved to a position of we do need to do a deal probably. And there's, I think, a large plurality who are saying now that might involve having to give over territory. There's an old quote from Sun Tzu's Art of War. If you want your enemy to retreat, build him a golden bridge, right? You have to, what that basically means is give them a good way out. Yeah. Right? I don't really think Russia wants to be in this much longer. They've spent a lot of manpower and a lot of money on this conflict, and it hasn't gone the way they wanted, to be honest. It's not gone. They've got more territory, but not nearly as much as they wanted. For Ukraine, that front line is not budging. It's just costing lives, it's costing money, and it's creating global instability. We need to wrap this up.
Well, I'm going to match your quote from Sun Tzu, and I'm going to go with one from the Iliad. War is old men talking and young men dying. And that's been it from the beginning of time, and that's what we're still seeing now today. Putin and Zelensky can talk their talk, and their governments can argue, and their cabinets can decide what's going to happen, but it's young men from both countries who are paying the price.
And you look at these, you talk about the money. You're completely right. A lot of these decisions are made because of the perceived benefit to the UK economy. And obviously these defence firms do make us a lot of money. They employ a lot of people. They are important, and I'm not necessarily completely unsympathetic to some of the realpolitik that goes on behind some of these decisions as well. But we have to ask ourselves, if we're giving money to, say, Israel, which is then striking Iran, and that whole Middle East conflict is blown up out of all proportions, we're looking at Ukraine. Has this made the UK economy better off? Higher oil prices, the global instability, has that benefited the UK economy? Okay, we've sold some arms, but what have we lost? As a result of these conflicts continuing and escalating, what have we lost in the... Is there actually a lot of... Yes, maybe on that first order thinking there's a lot of logic there. The realpolitik makes sense, but if you think to the fifth order, sixth order... Actually, it makes a lot less sense.
18.1 billion in military donations we've given to Ukraine. We are behind only two countries, Germany, who've given 28 billion, and the US, who have given just under $74 billion. I think at this point, with the cost of living being the way it is, with people struggling to pay bills, people struggling to afford food, I think perhaps if you did a poll, maybe we should do a poll with our viewers. Do you think the UK should still be... Actually, it's not just the UK. We've got a lot of American viewers too. Do you think your country should still be donating billions of dollars to the Ukraine? I think that's a good question to ask the people. And that's what you say. I think you're going to say perhaps it's time we looked to more diplomacy.
Here's another stat for you, JJ, as well, and talking about diplomacy. And if we're talking about realpolitik and what this sort of means for the UK economy and what have you, I've just found the stat here. The Iran oil shock has reduced UK's GDP by approximately 28.5 billion over its first 2 years. It's expected to cost that much. That is insane. Right. So whatever we think we're making from selling these weapons or whatever, we're losing it and then some back. This does not make sense. It is a completely senseless conflict. I know we said we like Trump, but it's out of hand. It's out of hand, and what's going on in Ukraine and Russia needs to be brought to an end, and both sides need to negotiate.
Trump said he'd settle this Russia-Ukraine conflict in his first week.
Didn't do it. Started a new one.
He's really doubled down. Damn. Anyway. All right, listen, should we end it there?
I think so.
I think it's lunchtime, isn't it? Yeah. You should probably go and get some scran. Well, James Walker, thank you for joining me today.
No, my pleasure.
And thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and hit that hype button. See you next time. Bye-bye. Right, a quick pause in the podcast to tell you about our sponsor, Incogni. You had those phone calls from numbers you don't recognize, or you go in your inbox and there's emails for stuff you did not sign up for. Well, that's because someone somewhere is selling your private information. That's where today's sponsor comes in, Incogni. They will contact these people who have been taking your information, and they'll say, oi, stop. Delete it. Go to the website, incogni.com. You type in the details. 2 minutes later, Incogni are sorting it out for you automatically. And because I love you, I've got you a discount. It ain't 10%, it ain't 20, 60% off. 60% off an annual Incogni plan. Just go to incogni.com/Daily Expresso or click the link in the episode description box below.